Check your timeline. Hunter killer drone ready for deployment. Friendly care package inbound. Friendly counter UAV inbound.
Dropped him.
Lightning strike awaiting coordinates. We pulled forward.
Viking 1-2 is wheeled up over your position.
Lightning strike coordinates received. Inbound.
3 confirmed.
Hunter killer drone ready for deployment. Friendly Hellstorm missile inbound. Good job, squad. Get ready for the next round.
Hello everybody, this is a ground war gameplay on the frickety frackety froopity froopity frackety map Turbine, which I hate. I hate this map, so be prepared for this to be the only ever gameplay that you see on this map. I'm using the Vector with the silencer and extended mags, and of course the bedazzled camo. My perks are Ghost, Hardline, Toughness, Dexterity, and Engineer, and I'm using the almighty patented copyrighted killstick setup, I'm just kidding, of the Blackbird, the EMP, and the Swarm. But that is not what I'm here to talk to you guys about today. Today I want to talk to you about my gaming history. You're gonna know from birth until right now, which is a long time. 23, so we got a lot of years to cover. But if you've ever wondered how I got into gaming, what type of games that I play, how I started playing Call of Duty, anything like that, all of those questions will be answered. So, starting at the very beginning, the way that I got introduced to video games was through my mother, mi madre. She is a big-time gamer. Even to this day, she has to play video games for about 3 hours a day, or she just does not function. That's just the way she is. So, I would always see her playing. She would obviously get me to play, and the first game that I ever played, I think I was around 2 or 3. I was either 2 or 3. I was no older than 3. And the first game was Pitfall, which is on the Atari 2600. And get this, guys, get this. This really was kind of freaky to me when I found this out, which maybe it shouldn't have been freaky, but it was. Pitfall was produced by Activision. I know, right? 20 years later, I'm still playing an Activision game. It's crazy. It's freaky. Crazy. But that was the first game that I remember playing. My mother named a bunch of games I played on the Atari, but the ones that I really remember are Pitfall and Superman. And moving on from my Atari days, we have my Genesis days, or my Mega Drive days for some of you guys, and my Nintendo days. And I did play Nintendo, I did play Mario and all that, but I was definitely more of a Genesis kid than a Nintendo kid. Sonic was my life. Me and my mother used to play Sonic for hours and hours and hours. So Sonic, Street Fighter, Streets of Rage, and Golden Axe were the main ones. And please remember through this commentary that I am not naming every single game that I ever played in my life, because we're talking like 20 years of gaming. It's a lot of games. So I'm just naming the main ones that kind of had impact on my life, so to speak. Oh, guys, before I move on from the Genesis, do you guys remember those Disney games like the Aladdin one, where you were in the market and you had to collect the apples and stuff, and then you had the Lion King, you had the Jungle Book, Pocahontas, and then there were the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck ones. I forgot which one it was. The magic one where you went to like a bookstore and you jumped in a book, and each book had like a different land, and you could go underwater in a fish tank, and he would stand there and go, Alakazam! And he'd have like a magic carpet. Does this ring a bell to anybody? That game was awesome. But the thing about those games, and those games back in the day that were made for children, were actually really, really hard. Those games were no joke. They expected you as a child to be a badass. There's no easy going as a kid. You will be good at this game, and you will learn to be good at this game, which is kind of cool, but they were very hard. Those Disney games were extremely hard. So moving on from there to my PlayStation 1 / PlayStation 2 days, I'm going to do those together just because a lot of the games that I played on the PS1, I also played on the PS2. And this may surprise you guys, but I never owned an original Xbox. I never, ever did. The first Xbox that I got was 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago? Anyway, it was when Black Ops came out. When the original Black Ops came out, that's when I got an Xbox. Before that, I was a PlayStation kid. And on PS1, PS2, I played Resident Evil, Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy, Tekken, Soul Calibur, NBA Street, NBA Jam, Need for Speed. Yeah, that's pretty much just a list of games that I played. and yeah. But the first time that I played Resident Evil was when I was 9 years old, and I was actually pretty good at it. I finished Resident Evil 1 through 3, and I had a crush on the Nemesis. Yep. If you have not seen my childhood crushes video, I tend to develop crushes on video game characters. I don't know what it is, that's just me. And I guess around the PlayStation 1 time was also when Pokemon was out. I was a huge Pokemon fan. I still have like 1,000 Pokemon cards. I went to Pokemon conventions. I played all of the games. I had the N64 and played Pokemon Snap and Pokemon Stadium. So Pokemon was also a big part of my life. From there, oh yeah, I was also getting into PC games at the time. I know, I honestly don't know how I managed to go to school with all of this gameplay. But I played SimCity and The Sims, Age of Empires, and Civilization on the PC for the most part at that point in my life. And then from there, I actually started getting really into PC games. I started playing Guild Wars. And Guild Wars was my first competitive game where I actually went online and competed against other people in quite a serious format. And that was probably the greatest time of my life. Which sounds really sad, but I just had so much fun. Me and my friends would go on there and we would play against other people for like 12 hours and it was just awesome. And after that is when I finally started playing Call of Duty. And as I mentioned before, I started playing Call of Duty with the original Black Ops and I sucked at it. My KD was, I believe it was 0.80 when I first started playing Call of Duty, and I remember looking at it like, huh, 0.80, that's pretty good. So I sucked, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, on a side note, before Black Ops 2 came out, Guild Wars 2 came out, which is the follow-up to Guild Wars, obviously, and I was actually asked to join an esports team for Guild Wars 2 and become a professional gamer, but I turned it down. So yeah, that's pretty much my gaming history in a nutshell. I know I'm probably going to listen back to this and think, oh my god, I missed out that, I'm such a noob. But that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.